Good night to all listeners of Sports Rap. We're going to commence with a prayer from Pastor Rodney.
Thank you very much. I'm always happy to pray with you, gentlemen, on a Thursday evening. Let us pray. Father, we are grateful that you have blessed us with another day. There are those who did not see today, Father God, because for some reason they lost it, they lost their lives, they stopped breathing. But Lord, you've seen us through and we are grateful. You've had mercy on us and we are thankful. We thank you, Father, that you've provided the opportunity tonight to educate, to stimulate thought, to bring people to a place, Father God, where they will not just hear but understand, even from a sporting perspective, Father God. We're grateful that these men who sit on the program, you have endowed them with wisdom. You have endowed them with knowledge, such that, Father God, they are well able to educate our public. Thank you that you have graced them with this capacity. Tonight we ask, Lord, that you will lead this program, you will guide it, you will cause them to be focused, and you will cause every person, Father God, in the listening audience to not just be entertained, but to be educated, to be motivated, and to eventually have people, Father God, with talent who are still looking around, that whatever they hear on this program tonight, Father, would encourage them to bring forth their talent. Thank you for all of those who sit as host and co-host, and all those who will call, Father God. Encourage every heart and fuel every soul for the good of community and the betterment of our nation. And for that, Father God, will give you praise and thanks and glory and honor. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen, Pastor Rodney. So we just play a little tune, and then before we start, and we, as usual, after the prayer, we always have a little. We have a local guy, Jerry Lloyd.
Jerry Lloyd. I'm a Xavier Foster, man.
Jerry Lloyd. We have Jerry Lloyd. We just waiting to get the song key.
Some of the people that you deal with, you are right, and you cry. Thinking of some of the things that you have been through, and now you're thinking in your heart, nobody cares about you, but I'm here to tell you that God. You're free. You think about the things believe? Can you feel His spirit now? God, take more. God, you believe? We want to tell you once more. Right now. Oh. Life is filled with so much of sorrow. You're having a really hard time looking out for tomorrow. And you cry. Oh, yes, you cry. But Jesus is here right now. Yes, indeed. And if you will call upon Him, He'll meet your need. I'm trying to tell you that. You're need. Singing about the
Yes, we're just listening to a little gospel from Jerry Lloyd. Anyway, the whole crew is there. I'm Lockett Sebastian.
Ron Lander.
Thompson Fontaine.
Emmanuel Black.
Yes, and tonight we're going to have a nice program. First, we're going to be joining the guys in Matnik to talk about the Creole basketball. We'll be discussing that. We also have local football with the PRO of the Football Association, local cricket as well with David Johnson. And guys, we have a lot of cricket to talk about. We saw today England scored almost 500 runs. West Indies yesterday, all the teams lost. We have a new captain that we'll discuss, a new vice captain. We have the A team. We noticed that Kevin Hodge is not in the second team. That is a worry because I noticed he's not in the team for the second test match, and that is a worry because it tells you something. That's the last game before what? That's about a week before the first test against Australia, and he's not in the team for the second team test. Yes, so that is a sign, I would say. Not a good sign. Michael Louis as well is not in that team as well for the second A-team test. So problems, guys. And you know what Kevin Hodge has to do is score a big 100 in the first. He's in the one for the first A-team test, but it's not people like, I suspect, when you have Craig Brathwaite, Campbell in the second one. We'll discuss that anyway, but it's a worry that Kevin Hodge is not in the team for the second A-team test. It's a big worry. And I noticed they have people like Anderson, all the matches, every match he's going to be playing. So that tells you something. That every match, after another as well, every single game. Do we have a call already? I wonder if that's the people. Yeah. Good evening.
Good evening to all.
How are you, lady?
I'm good.
Nice.
I'm asking you a question because I know you wiser than I am. I hear people say Roosevelt Carey say 5 plus 5 is 55. Is it a joke or he really said that?
Two big finance men there. They can tell us. Dr. Fountain is a big mathematical man. He's right there. He can answer that. Dr. Fountain is right there. He can answer that.
Hello, bro.
Yeah, in fact, guys, I think we're already on the line with the guy from Matnik. Just hold on just now. Are they ready for us? Yes. Quickly, because they have a match at 7. So we have Donnie Robinson already on the line to tell us about the Creole thing with stats. Good night, Donnie. Are you there? Donnie?
Hello?
Donnie, are you there? We're hearing you. Are you hearing us? Donnie? Good evening, good evening. Tell us, well, you guys playing what, at 7 o'clock, right?
So as we speak, the opening ceremony is just started, and we're getting ready to kick off the tournament.
So you played against Matnik, right?
No, we're playing against Guadeloupe.
Guadeloupe.
So the home team gets to play the African team on every stop. So we will play the team from Benin in Dominica, and Benin will play Guadeloupe in Guadeloupe. So by default, we're playing in Guadeloupe tonight
So,
for the first game.
so tell us about the atmosphere right now, Donny. Tell us, listeners, people are listening to you about the atmosphere in
Well, I'll just
Matnik.
give you right now. Today is a public holiday, celebrating the slave
Oh,
liberation. So it's a hype event. Um, and then so you have the crowd is involved, a lot of dignitaries around. And it's really a part of a historic event for them for the fact that it's a public holiday, and then so this tournament was kind of set up for that to try to commemorate this set of activities. So it's an energized environment. I mean, it starts at 6, and the crowd is already healthy. A lot of advertisements and stuff going around. So it's a good positive vibe.
is our team ready for it, Donny? Are you ready?
We really the best we could in terms of the under the challenging. So we continued together in the past couple of weeks. But the team we have is the best we could at the time, and we've done our best to get them prepared. Our basketball has to start somewhere, and it's our first tournament in about 9 years from a national senior level. So
Wow.
we're just happy that we can start. And we're trying to get kicked off.
What's the spirit like within the team? How are the
team's
players
excited.
feeling?
The team's excited. A lot of guys are making the national debut. More than 90% of the team this time representing at that level. So it's a feeling of excitement. Obviously, you can feel the jitterness in the young guys, but that's part of my job is to get them prepared for that. So it's fun times. Like I told the team this morning, everything is about basketball, playing basketball. It's an amateur sport, so let's have fun doing it. But it's more important that the development, going back to the plans that we laid out from an executive standpoint 3 years ago, is to get basketball started somewhere. Just a couple of weeks I was on your program telling you that we have nothing to play for in terms of regional tournaments, and this is a good place to start. We have a good young core, so we're looking forward to it. The team is hyped and excited.
Who initiated the inclusion of Benin in that tournament? And what's the major objective?
The major objective is cultural from a first standpoint because of the fact that we all share the Creole culture. And that came from the Creole basketball that's been going on for the past 2-3 years, and some contacts from the French countries back up to the Benin Association. So now Benin has some rich history in terms of the slavery and Matnik in particular. So yesterday we visited one of the areas where 600 of the slaves died in a boat capsized, and that kind of culminated the whole slavery liberation time. So it was fitting for that to happen, and Benin got their slavery abolished way later than the other European controlled countries. So we kind of figured out it's a good time to put it together in terms of from a cultural standpoint, and it's working out well so far. The interest is there, and the energy is high.
Well, for the benefit of listeners, Donny, tell people where is Benin. People might know, a lot of people. Tell people where is that country, Benin.
Well, Benin is in the west coast of Africa. It's one of those smaller countries, but again, it's 13 million people, right? So it's small by African standards, but not small globally. And they've been one of the last countries to really got the independence and started doing their own thing. But the Creole culture is vibrant there. Therefore, the connection, it's important for us to keep that.
I was very much impressed when you made mention that you spent 9 years in Africa. And that has contributed to the depth of your knowledge and your expression. Now, I'm an exponent of sports tourism. Did Discover Dominic Authority get involved with the organization in any way when you were going out, especially to the tours in Martinique, Guadeloupe, and when in Dominica, to exhibit Dominica so the people of Africa can see what Dominica is all about?
Well, yes, Discover Dominica is on board. They're one of the partners. In terms of the organizing, yes, it's the Creole, the guys in the Creole basketball team, but Discover Dominica has been on board. They've been a willing partner, supporting partner, especially in this leg of the tournament. They've been involved in the Creole basketball for the past couple of years, and the goal is to get them more and more involved because this year, Benin is going to be home. We're going to try our best to do some local tours, and we've engaged them in that. We have an exhibition here that went on this morning, and Get me the opportunity to have local products and Dominica things
Very good.
on things. So they've been on board. I think a lot more still can be done, but it's a start. And you better start in and standing and talking. So I think we're in the right track.
You want to ask your question?
Yes, Donny. You just said that when Benin will be in Dominica, you will bring them. You on some sites. I hope you bring them by the old market, by the where the slaves moved.
Well,
I hope you bring them there.
it's interesting
And
you say
two,
that. We actually landed on the boat tomorrow, and part of the plan is that we are going to walk the streets to some interesting sites, and one of them is going to be the old market.
thank
So
you
they're
very
going to get
much.
history in town, and then later on they're going to go to the Kalinago territory on the following day and Cabrits, etc., etc. So the plan is to show as much as we can and connect as much as we can. And do the bit we can for sports and sports tourism and culture, most importantly. So that's
Next
part of
thing,
it.
the other question, Donny. After this tournament is over, what next? In
So
terms of
the, the,
the the continuity of this Creole tournament, will there be this tournament next year or in 2 years' time?
no, so the plan is to have this type of tournament around this time every year. That is the
Every year,
plan.
okay.
This is the national. Is around the time of the French independence or abolishment of slavery. So it coincides with that. So today today is in Martinique, and on Tuesday it's in Guadeloupe, and it's no coincidence because Monday is also a public holiday in Guadeloupe, where they also have their celebration of that abolishment. So it kind of coincides with that, and that plans to be an annual thing. Now, to answer the question about what's next, is in 2 weeks we will have the club version of this Creole basketball, the first leg is going to be held in Dominica, where we'll have 6 teams, two from Dominica, two from Guyana, and two from Guadeloupe taking part in the first leg. So
What
it's a continuation thing where you have the national teams and you have the clubs. Hopefully, we'll have a junior session in August, and the plan is before the next 12 months to have a female version as well. So we're doing what
final
we can
question?
from the basketball standpoint and the Creole standpoint.
Final question, Donny. Yes, I'm hearing that Dominica's Martinique. What about Saint Lucia inclusion, which is also a Creole country?
Yeah. So St. Lucia is included in the club version of it. They were in Dominica last year when we had the Creole festival as well, and they will be included in the club. I think there were some preparation challenges for St. Lucia and economic challenges. That's why they were not. But the invitation was extended to St. Lucia as well.
Don't you
Well,
understand that the Creole ambassador addressed the opening function? I have got a lot of respect for the Creole ambassador. How did that go?
So that is ongoing right now. I stepped outside so I could
Okay.
talk to you guys. I hope I didn't miss his speech, but yeah, it's something to address during the thing. I mean, we had a press conference earlier this week, and he was very energized, very passionate about it.
What about you? How is your Creole?
Well, my Creole is not too bad. I'm good enough to understand and have a good, coherent conversation.
mais oui.
Good.
Donny, how do we get? Well, the match starts at 7, right? Is there anybody we can? Obviously, you're going to be coaching, so we can get the scores as we go on the program before we leave at 8 o'clock. Is there any way we can get the halftime scores?
Yeah, so what I will do, I will send Mr. Lander the link where he can follow it live, and I'll also try to get the assistant coach to keep updating him as much as we can. But I'll send him the link because it's going to be on EA Sports Live.
All right, so we can keep following, giving the scores to people and so on. And then you say you all come in tomorrow, and then you play again on Saturday, right?
Yes, we play Benin on Saturday in the second game at 9 o'clock in Massa.
Right. Well, that's very good news. So what we will do, obviously, you have to go and warm up your players. So send us the link. We'll be in touch so we can give people the scores as the match goes on. So thank you so much for joining us. Because we don't want to hold you too long. Thank you.
Thank you, Donny.
Yeah.
What I would want to do is to encourage Dominicans, as many Dominicans as possible, to go out on Saturday in the Massac hard court. This is wholesome, beneficial entertainment. And I think we should go out and give our national team the fullest of support. Not only our national team, but the Creole competition.
The only thing
Benin, Martinique, Guadeloupe.
You know, the only disappointing thing I heard him, I think I heard him on DBS Sports, where he was saying that a lot of the senior players didn't come to training, and some of the main players, they're not in Martinique right now, and that was a bit disappointing. So
it's unfortunate, but let's work with what we have.
Well, yeah, it has to go on. The sports must go on. I always say, whether it's cricket or football, you must go on. So who is not there? Next man standing. That's how it is. So we hope tonight they can put on a good performance, and we will keep giving listeners the scores as the match goes on until we hear at 8 o'clock. So that's really, really good. Nice news from Donny. And Dr. Fontaine, there's a question I had to ask you. You were away on a joyride. Were you on a joyride last weekend? No? You want to tell us?
Last weekend?
No, we didn't. You were not here last week, so I just wanted to know if you were on a joyride or if you care to tell people what you were doing, where you were. I'm sure you want to tell people.
Well, thanks, Siwo. Thanks for the opportunity. I had some positive engagements with the Dominicans living overseas. As you know, our Dominican populations overseas are probably even more invested in Dominica than Dominicans living here. They follow the news, they constantly listening, they're on top of the issues. So it was an opportunity for us to just, give them some perspective on what's going on. We met with a small group in Washington, D.C., and then on last Friday, we met for a much larger group in the Bronx, New York. And it was a very interesting discussion around Dominica, around the future. And also, we talked about the plans that we as a United Workers' Party Team Dominica has for the country, and also made an appeal to them, to the diaspora, that beyond the barrel economy, that we're looking for them to get more invested in Dominica. We are hoping that they can put their investments in Dominica and that they can work together with us here locally to help build the country. And that was a message I thought that went down very, very well with those who were there.
I heard you, I listened to you in your speech when you made comment about some guy you met at the police station prison, and then he was languishing there for 7 years?
Yeah, well, he spent 7 years at the Stock Farm prison, and then he served his time.
Yeah.
And then he was released.
And he couldn't go home.
But he could not go home. And I found it strange that our government could not even provide a ticket for him, put him on a plane to send him back to his country. So what they did was they actually kept him in jail. So he transferred from Stock Farm to the police station jail, and he was just there, basically languishing in that jail. When I went in there, he was already there for 6 months.
That's very nice of you, though. I mean, that's real humanitarian thing to somebody languishing there, and he can't go back to his home. He has no funds to pay his ticket. Wow.
Yeah. So it was not. I think it cost about $3,000 something like that. Yeah.
Well, every dollar counts.
Yeah. But what I would like to see, and I think you made mention of that, is for our Dominicans living abroad to organize themselves in groups, in different associations. Not that singleton business, but organize yourself. If it's some group in Brooklyn, another group in Jersey, or wherever, to organize themselves. So whenever you or anybody else goes up, they go up there to meet an organization and not an individual.
Yes.
But Dr. Fontaine, this thing you did, now you must transfer it now locally. It's nice, the diaspora, you need the diaspora. And I always feel the diaspora is important, but locally now, your party needs to start going around, eh?
Well, yes, and that is very much in the plan. In fact, we're starting in the month of June. The very first, we're having a very first town hall on the 6th of June, tentatively the Goodwill Parish Hall, and then we'll have it in the 5th of June. That's Thursday, the 5th of June, and then we'll have it in other constituencies like that. But we're definitely starting a full swing in the month of June.
Very good, because it has to do it locally as well, not only foreign. We have a caller. Good evening.
Yes, good evening, gentlemen. How you all doing?
Very good.
That question for Ronald or Sibo, because you are always attending sporting events in Dominica.
Mm-hmm.
We are Minister of Sports in Dominica. How often do you all see a Minister of Sports at a sporting event? Can you tell the public?
I don't know if they come at all. To be honest, I can't say that. I don't know if they show up at all. Honestly, I don't know. Really.
So how do we have Minister of Sports but they have them for just a cotton ribbon. And when a team wins some event, for them to come there grinning, handing out a trophy. That is what we are minister of sports. At least now and then, a minister of sports should be showing up at events, especially football, cricket, whatever sporting events that is taking place in the country. And I never hear that. And that is sad compared to when Mr. Green was a minister of sports. What a shame. Bye bye.
But seriously, I would like to see more effort being put into local sports. I don't think really we going anywhere. I mean, our sports locally, we're struggling. I mean, you hear people talk about they putting lights here, there, and over everywhere else. But our sports itself, we're struggling. And I would like to see more real sporting thing going on. I mean, for the young people and stuff. We're not seeing much of that around, guys.
Yeah, but one of the good things though, we have some talent, individual talent emerging. So if we're going to improve on our management of sports, on our facilities, for example, in athletics, I hope I'll have a chance in a while to speak about that. Lafo came second in Doha, in the in games in Doha, in triple jump. There's a lot of talk about developing the athletic stadium. What is the time frame? Where are we? What's going to happen next? The Athletics Association is going to have its AGM on Saturday. I see they are in the schools trying to promote athletics in the schools, the primary schools, and working with the primary school students. How do we develop the facilities? How do we develop the facilities to facilitate the development of sports in Dominica? See, boy, you talk about the lighting. We're missing a lot of opportunities in sports tourism to play cricket in Dominica because we don't have no lights in our stadium. But what's the time frame for dealing with that?
But I was wondering about that, and I'm wondering if there is more to this, because in 2023, 2 years ago, we had India here in Dominica, right, playing against, and there were no lights then.
No, that's true. They played what, July, August?
July,
yeah.
July 2023.
Yeah.
The last time we had a major sporting event, I believe, in Dominica.
What happened to the World Cup? Why didn't we have the World Cup?
We lost it. No, I was thinking about in terms of the games now. We have a lot of cricket being played.
Plenty.
Australia,
St. Kitts is doing something.
Why are we not getting
in fact, the under 19 tournament is going to move to St. Kitts now in July. That's why
even those games taking place in St. Lucia.
Yes.
Why is that not happening? So not happening.
All the games against South Africa in St. Lucia. The 3 ODIs and the 2 40 matches.
But I don't understand that.
Grenada Stadium was done. They renovated their stadium and they get in the test match against Australia.
Yes, correct.
What are these guys doing that we cannot do to benefit from sports?
Well, our local association itself must be proactive. You know that. I mean, you have to have some clout, and honestly, to get things, you have to be in the forefront. And I'm not sure if we're doing that or if we have the people doing that.
Because look at Marsley. Marsley was just re-elected as president of the Windward Islands Cricket Board. He's also on the West Indies Cricket Board. What is he doing to represent us, to push us? Not only he, but the Ministry of Sports, the sports division, what are they doing collectively to ensure that we benefit from sports tourism?
Yeah, and that's why I say I think something more is going on, because we could get some of those 2-day games. I mean, the red ball cricket we certainly can get. You don't need lights for those, So I think something more is going on that we have to really look at. Why are we not getting some of those red ball games? Even at the A level, the A teams. And
yes, Bobby.
Yes. Just to make 2 comments there. First of all, I want to talk on the athletics. I heard Landa talking about the association going to have the AGM, and then schools. When they're in schools, the sports division where you and I work, Sebastian, we champion track and field, school sports for years. It was alive. You know why it was alive? You had the Windsor Park, you had the grammar school ground. Schools could train, school could have positive sports days. And then you had the primary school athletics championship, the secondary school, where you had multitudes in the Windsor Park, even at Benjamin's Park. That's what happened to us. We have been paralyzed. There's no center in Rosewood. There's nothing at all to do. There's anything. I told you already, All right. We got some equipment for high jump. I can remember high jump. Almost 5,000 US plus. And we housed that in the stadium. You know what happened? They were about to host a cricket game, and they took the mattresses and they threw it in the rain, you know. All right? Driving, listen to me, Sebastian, listen to that. No, listen. All right? While I was driving the link road, I look towards, I had to reverse and get into the Windsor Park and to house the mattress under the stand. All right? I told you already.
Did you find out who did that?
Sebastian, just now, I'm coming to something else, Sebastian.
Okay,
Something
okay,
else.
go
Who
ahead,
did
go
that?
ahead, go ahead.
I'm coming else because I'm talking about athletics. Look, we had Simon, all right, a shot put thrower, 19 close to 20 meters. All right, the boy was in Dominica practicing. We had a shot put. We had a circle at the back of the no names. Is it no name stand? All right. What they did, where the shot put landing, they put a generator, right? A generator there.
Low black,
Right?
that's
A
the Thomas
generator was
Kentish
put where
stand.
the shot put
That's the
landing.
Thomas
It's
Kentish
still there.
stand. It has a name, Thomas Kentish.
Okay, all right. I realize that. Is it Thomas alone or Thomas and Sibo?
Thomas Kentish.
Anyway, go ahead.
So that is the problem I have. And then you're about whether you have plans for a track. This thing is nothing positive happening. And sports, let us go back, Sebastian. You have to go back in memory lane where things were alive. You had activities, things were alive and well in Dominica. But the absence of the Windsor Park, the grammar school ground. Look at your school. Are they you and Lander, you're from the grammar school. All right, you had all your own grounds. One of the best sports days grammar school had on the Sunday.
Let me correct you. Let me correct you on that. I've always opined it was an error to build a stadium at the Windsor Park. Mm-hmm. The stadium, and I discussed at the CBO, I stated that already on this program. The stadium should have been built outside of Roseau.
I agree with
that
you.
was done in St. Lucia. CBO didn't agree with me about Antigua. But I believe the stadium should have been built outside of Roseau like it's done in St. Lucia. And the Windsor Park and the technical wing should be left for the usage of the most crowded area in Dominica.
Well, of course.
The only thing I say about that, most stadiums around the world are built in population centers. Let's be real. I mean, you want your stadiums in population centers. And if you look all around the world, you look at Kensington Oval right in the city, you look at Lord's right in London.
But you have options, Sibo. You have options.
Well, I don't think we have many options in Dominica.
We don't have options in Dominica.
We don't have many options there.
In Barbados, we lived in Barbados. Thompson and myself lived in Barbados for 3 years, and they got several options.
No, but Barbados have plenty ground. I mean, in fact, if you look at Barbados, what they have the National Sports Council. And well, as you know, I went to Barbados for 12 years with this Gary Sober's team. And every time we went, there's people working there, there are pavilions, well organized, plenty playing fields. I mean, in Barbados, like, you give that to them. They're very well organized. And that is the difference here. We do not have, in the old districts, okay, I heard something, they put lights in Soufriere. But if there's a pavilion there, so when you play and if rain is falling, you put lights in Grand Fond. Is there a pavilion there, that sort of thing?
Changing room,
nothing like that.
No toilets, no changing rooms.
So, Sibo,
something
else. Says Sebastian, that's the last thing I want to talk about on the Creole Cup. Yes, I mean, basketball is dear to me. I mean, Donnie and myself, we played on the same team. The Windsor Park, was the mecca. The Windsor Park was the mecca. You have, during a league game, a big league game could attract close to 3,000 to 5,000 people. Now, what do you think happened? You go to Massac, and they say you build a so-called indoor to hold about 300 to 500 people. All right? These things should be up stock, fam. That is the planning. Just now.
The only thing with Massac, Low Black, the playing area, the ground, is a big improvement than what obtained in the Windsor Park.
Just now, brother. I'm not through.
The surface,
yeah.
No, listen to me.
It's a major upgrade.
We're talking about surface. The surface the surface is not board. It's still concrete that is there. Okay.
No,
Now,
no. There's something softer than concrete.
They have a
but
packet
it
there.
is
Is
still
there
a
a
hard
packet
surface.
there?
I don't know what is there, but it's softer than concrete. I
Yeah,
walked on
Okay.
it.
I think
It's
yeah,
softer
I
than
think
concrete.
it's a
No,
regular.
I'm not through.
So it can
I'm not
absorb
through as
shock
yet.
of your ankles and your knees.
No, I'm not through as yet, gentlemen. I'm talking as a visionary. First of all, we had stock farm. And if you're planning properly, you go and you build an indoor to accommodate, like let's say basketball, you have netball, you have volleyball, you have local and regional tournaments to take about maybe 3, 4, 5,000 people. There you have, that is where moving forward thinkers would do. There you have the associations would be able to have a lot of activities, various associations raising funds. They will not be, every time resort to the private sector. All right, and that is it. Whatever we are doing must be for today, tomorrow, and beyond, not just for today.
Okay, on that note, guys, we're going to take a break. We haven't had our first ad break. We'll do that now. And when we come back, I feel we're going to be speaking to Lobby Cedric Harris about athletics. I think he's going on a tour, his club soon. So we'll deal with that when we come back. Let's take a break now.
Where
You know.
so key matter is you can just walk in and order all your chicken parts wholesale and even enjoy retail. It's at AC Shillingford, all chicken parts available that you can afford. Fresh breast, and you know breast is best. Shillingford wings have muscle. After you eat it, you can fly. As for Shillingford chicken drumsticks, even swinging stars just order drumsticks from Shillingford. And for those of you who love pull, AC Shillingford keeps your belly full. Buy your chicken wholesale at AC Shillingford. From wings to thighs to drums to breasts to backs to necks. It's available. It's always available and it's affordable. Plus, you've got pork feet, ham and turkey, bull foot, chicken nuggets, pepperoni, all those right seasonings to make your kitchen keep on ticking. Buy your wholesale chicken at AC Shillingford. When you think of chicken, think of AC Shillingford. Always fresh.
When you want the best, what you do? Shop at the better than the rest. Go shop at the and the husband well. Shop at the you get more for life. Shop at the shop at the yeah. Shop at the shop at the shop at the yes, family, customer friendly, with free locations, it's so convenient, and our prices. Madam, that's where you belong. So tell your mama, tell your papa, shop at the tell your son and your daughter, shop at the auntie, nan, and cousin, friend, open power, all of them. My grandpa, open neighbor, girlfriend, boyfriend, side. What? Shop at the shop at the shop at the shop at the check us out at Pottersville High Street and downtown Rose. The New India Insurance Company has reopened its doors in Portsmouth, offering the same great services you get in Roseau. Motor vehicle insurance, home and business owners, fire and related carriers, public liability, and so much more. Come, visit us today for insurance with a personal touch on Bay Street, Portsmouth, or call us at 445-4023. We are ready to serve you. Dominican, insure your property, protect your property. You homeowner and businessman, protect your property, insure your property. Can't wait for the hurricane, can't wait till you flood again, can't wait till you fly out and all your business coming out. Remember, no insurance company will insure your property when a storm is approaching. Get ahead of the hurricane season and insure with a company who gives you the assurance of payment for your valid claim. Come speak with us today at the New India Assurance Company Limited, upstairs AC Shillingford and Company Limited, 24 King George Street, Roseau. Bring along an up-to-date valuation from a qualified engineer and get insured today. Looking for a quiet, relaxing place to stay? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Leaving the office late and need somewhere close to town? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Have business clients coming in and need accommodation? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Looking for group accommodation? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Located at 37 Goodwill Road in Portersville, upstairs ACS Supermarket. Enjoy our semi-self-contained rooms with private washroom, bathroom, Wi-Fi, air condition, cable network, mini refrigerator, all in a non-smoking environment. Call or WhatsApp at 1767-275-1899 or email us at info@portersplaceguesthouse.com to make your reservations. Porter's Place, your home away from home. Fit for a king, a queen, and all their royal subjects.
Okay, we are back and we're going to be talking a little athletics. We have with us the coach of the Pioneers Athletics Club, Cedric. Good night. Is that the name?
Yes, good night, Chibo and
everybody's here. Lobby's there, Dr. Fountain, Ronald Lander is there.
And Lobby.
Yeah. Tell us, Cedric, you're going on a tour soon with a group of students?
Yes, good evening again. The Pioneers Athletics Club is right now we're in preparation mode was traveling to St. Lucia, and we plan to travel on the weekend, that's next weekend, 30th, to compete at the 4th annual Makiba Alcid Classic in Soufriere, St. Lucia.
Well, tell us about that, this classic. What is it about? Tell listeners want to know what is it about, that classic.
Okay, it's an event. It's an original event that has been put together by Miss Makiba Alcid. That's a young lady, former athlete from St. Lucia, national athlete, who is back now operating as a coach, and she's also a physical therapist. And she has this competition this is the 4th edition of it, and it's being run in Soufriere, St. Lucia. It brings together athletes from the region, St. Lucia, Montserrat, Martinique. This year, she said that we're hoping to have leader and St. Vincent on board. So this will be our 3rd time attending that event, and we are looking forward to having some good performance and exposure for our athletes out there.
What age range, Cedric? What age range for that competition?
All right, the categories they are on the 9, on the 11, on the 13, on the 16, and open. These are the categories for that event. We will be participating on the 9, on the 11, on the 13, and on the 16, and open male and female. So we practically is touching every category and giving our athletes the exposure on the regional scene.
Tell me, how are you going to fund that tour, Cedric? Who's funding? Are you going to get assistance from the government or private sector, whatever?
Well, we have written some letters out to the private sector, and we have been doing our own fundraising for a couple of months now. We have been out there collecting our funds, and we hopefully everything will fall together in place on time. Things are moving around slowly but steadily, and with the help of the club, executive, the parents, well-wishers, we have a lot of friends out there who is helping, and that's the focus here. And again, that competition we use to assist in our identification of our athletes. So far, we have had one of our athletes, Cherista Duran, Precious Duran, who is now at the Johnson C. Smith University in North Carolina, and that's where she was identified from that meet. So we know that it's quality. There are people scouts coming down and identifying talent. So for us, that is something that we use to not only give our athletes, younger athletes, exposure, but also the older ones, give them that level of way to market themselves, so scouts could actually see what we have to offer and getting them across.
Question.
Lobby, go ahead. I know you
yes,
will. That's your man.
Yes, Cedric. You just mentioned about a female athlete overseas. What event has she specialized in?
Cherry Stuff is running the 8 and the 4. She's now at the Johnson T. Smith University in North Carolina. And she just completed her first year.
Her first year.
And
what her times are like in the 4 and the 8 since she has gone there?
For the year, she started in the fall. Cross country. During cross country, she got injured. She had a stress fracture, so she missed out the cross country, and she only ran one meet indoor. But outdoor, she ended up her outdoor season with 2 minutes 22.
So is she at is she at a community college university, or is she at a second division or first division?
She's at a Division 2 university in North Carolina. Again, you can do your research on your own.
No. I just want to know. I just want to know the research.
Yes, I want to know. Well,
I just want to know.
Completed a year on the the dean's list. So academically, she's doing pretty well for herself, and continuing with her training and development.
Because,
again, as you know, our athletes are not getting the exposure they need, so we need every niche we get to take them out. We are looking forward.
Just now, Cedric. The thing is this, yes, I'm always happy when athletes can get to the US, but I think there must be some sort of people have to know in Dominica what is happening, who has gone overseas, because that is, I don't know whether Landa or Sibo or Dr. Fountain is aware. I don't know. Even when Brendan came in there, that this young lady is at a second division college. Gentlemen,
Yes.
did you all get that? Heard that?
She was not a ghost going out. Last year she came out. She went to the Makiba Alsit. She won the 800 there. Came back home. That was publicized on the news. Then again, assistance was requested for her going out. I mean, a little assistance was given, and
no. But Cedric, when you say assistance was given, what do you mean? Let us know. Let us know. Too often we have vague comments, like people scared to speak. Assistance from whom?
Okay. Well, you got to travel to Barbados to get the visa.
Mm-hmm.
So she got some assistance from the government to travel to Barbados.
Mm-hmm.
But that was as much as that happened.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, other requests was made, but it didn't come through. But God, I keep always saying, it's all in the hands of God. If it has to be, it will be. And what God put there for you.
So was she seeking a scholarship and she went to the authorities? Is that what you're saying?
Well, she wasn't seeking a scholarship. I mean, she got a scholarship. She earned it academically, and with the qualification. I mean, the times that was required, she ran those times and she got across. What happened was that the time, there's a window, so to speak, of when she got accepted to the university, but then because of the time that she had, she was given a kind of preliminary partial scholarship because she needed to run a particular time. So by the time she ran that event in St. Lucia, she got the qualification. They said, okay, but again, she's not the only student coming in. So then the budget, what was remaining in the budget for them, that what she was getting. That she got it, and she got on. I had a friend who assisted her with the balance that was requested, I mean, a personal friend of mine. I can't put anybody's names on there, but she got in, and now she's on a full scholarship at the Johnson C. Smith. Academically, she's again, I mean, on the influence, and yes,
Harris,
yes, sir.
Harris, but I'm not listening to you. I don't know if things have changed. I know that the any scholarship, given a first division scholarship, if you get a first division, everything you get a full. But I know with a second division in the past, where the college would offer you 80% and you have to find 20%. So that thing has changed.
It doesn't. No. It not have changed. It has always been there. It's always been there.
So she had to find 20%. She had to find right now while she up there. You said she's getting a. There's no. How old is she now? The question was how old is she now?
She born in 2004, so that gives her 21 years.
Oh, okay. So she wasn't within character age. Okay, that's a concern about character age.
Not character.
Yeah, Cedric, you're actively involved in athletics in Dominica. What is your knowledge on the development of the athletics track in Dominica?
Well, let me put it on the record. I am not a member of the executive of the Triple E. That's the record. So I am like every other coach. Information that is shared with me, that's the only thing I can evolve. I can only say that it was said that the track is on stream, everything is in place.
Where?
That's the last information in Portsmouth. It's going to be in Point Round, Portsmouth.
Are you lobbying? Are you discussing with the Minister of Sports and the persons making the statement on the athletic stadium? Are you lobbying them?
No, I'm not lobbying anybody. I mean,
because I know your heart is in athletics, and you've performed.
Very much active.
I know that. I know you've performed, and you're committed.
I committed. My passion is there. I work within my scope. I mean, use what I have, which is we train at the Botanic Gardens, and once in a while we get the opportunity to utilize the stadium, and say thanks for that.
But do you believe training at the gardens is best for your athletes, Cedric Harris?
No. I can tell you the gardens is not in the off season, okay, but like in peak season where athletes have to run at top speed, the gardens are injuring out of our athletes.
Of course.
And not only that, Cedric, I was there earlier and I noticed your athletes could not really practice because they were playing cricket. And with the space, I don't know how your athletes were going to move around. I noticed they all left and I went on a run outside of the gardens. But I can understand how difficult it is if you have cricket going on there to be training,
Yeah, well, again, that is so many challenges that we face. But as I said, we just have to work with what we have and make the best of what is there. I mean, the authorities, I'm sure they are hearing, and I mean, they will do what is necessary to make things better for all athletes. Because as we see, athletics, I mean, Dominica is now, on the world scene. We have gotten a gold medal at the Olympic Games, and that in itself says a lot. And persons are asking questions, where's that place? And I've had friends who say they want to come down here to train. But
say again, people want to come down here to train? You know what you said?
But
no, hold on. Cedric.
They want to make use of our mountains.
Cedric, you said people want to come down here to train athletes?
No. I have one or two friends who have said to me that they would like the opportunity to come down to Dominica to
see Dominica for training.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
what kind of training? What kind of training?
One thing is that some people say, look, they kind of say, boy, I wonder how do you all get to do what you're doing? So if you bring somebody down into the same climate, the same arena, the same environment that you're in, that they will be more sympathetic and trying to help you. So hopefully this summer I should have a few persons down here from outside doing some work with me. So that would be something that is very. I hope once it happens, I can bring one of you guys into our interview.
Absolutely.
Well, you could bring them to sports rap. Nothing wrong with that. Eh?
Also, Cedric, in line with that, what do you know about the FIALA for facility? I'm understanding that's supposed to be down in Jimmet.
Fear
Currently, I don't know anything about that.
Because I met who said that it was basically coming on stream and it should be within this year they would start to.
You talk about Fabian Flora stuff.
Fabian. I met Fabian. I had a very good discussion with him, and he was saying that they're very much advanced in terms of the planning. I think they're going to utilize the Nehemiah.
The area there,
Nehemiah Comprehensive School,
there
and so on. They had already done the measurements and everything else, and they were going to go ahead with it.
But Dr. Fontaine is also a financial aspect to that project. There must be funding, yes. I am quite aware.
Yes, Cedric. Yes, Cedric. No, you were saying something?
No. I was just listening.
Oh, you were listening to Lobby? You were listening to Lobby? Okay, all right.
Yes, Sebastian.
So go ahead, make your point, Lobby. Listen.
Yes, well, I've been in discussion with Flora, all right, on the project. First of all, by the Maho School, which was the site, but they look at in terms of vandalism. They look at the tennis court, all right. Also, going to the tennis court, into that is private property. You want how the public would have access to that, but also funding. Right, so they were hoping that he was hoping that like Fear would have played a major role. Now she has gotten this gold medal. She'll play a major role in securing funds, to assist in that. But I think it would be a good idea. But where? All right, where? All right.
Yes,
now, on the question,
that's what I was saying. I think they had settled on the Nehemiah area.
Okay.
School was
Yeah, but in terms of making that funding, because in terms of you have to get the material, you have to get the cement, so there must be some funding money goes with that. But but on the questions on that Harris talk about who wants to come here. In my days of coaching, which I coach, with him itself, people ask the same thing. When everybody else right now, there's a track everywhere. St. Lucia, St. Vincent, Grenada, which I never thought. in the 12 years I never believed that any of this country would have surpassed us with the level of talent which I saw in Dominica, which I worked with. The club which he was part of, the Olympians of the club, with the strongest club that ever passed in Dominica. We produced up to now records are there from the club. We never thought, I never believed that that these islands would have passed me. Never.
And Emmanuel, as you say that, and Cedric, we trained. Well, I trained with Striders when we used to train. How many years ago? Probably 40 years ago. We were training in the gardens. We used to keep our jumping thing inside the little stall that there. I mean, that's where we put our mattress and so on. That's where it was stored. And I'm seeing 40 years later, I'm seeing all of these young children, the same place training. I'm like, we've not gone anywhere. 40 years ago, we were doing this. I think it was okay then, but 40 years later, it is not okay.
Absolute disgrace.
We have to subject our school kids to that, and they were arriving about 5:15, just about an hour of daylight. In any case, and then to train on those conditions, the field is very undulated. It's not even. I don't know. I'm even surprised we still keep producing the quality athletes that we produce.
And listen, Dr. Fontaine, there's one thing I want to say quickly.
Well, hold on. Cedric is still on the line.
Yes. I want to Cedric to respond because and I see that he's there over all of those years and he's seen the. He's not seeing the transition. It's like we're stuck in time,
and we are still primitive.
It's unbelievable.
Anyway, Cedric, we want to wish you the best. I mean, we hope things work out for you. I guess when you come back from St. Lucia, I guess he will speak to you and he'll tell us how things went. So we want to wish you the best and hope everything works out well for you, man.
Yeah, well, thanks again for giving me the opportunity to share with the Dominican sports lovers and enthusiasts. The Pioneers Extra will say we continue to work towards giving our athletes this level of exposure. And yes, we are still out there requesting assistance. So if one of the athletes come to you with a contribution paper, it's something authentic. No, that's the reality of things.
Okay, yeah, I know, man. Yeah,
that's
man.
how it is.
Okay, thank you, man.
Thanks for all you do.
You know, guys, somebody just sent a picture, right, of the Granville playing field, and the person is saying, "Look at that! It's lighted, no stands, no bathroom facilities. The only thing that was used was a Christmas village." I mean, that's like I say, nothing wrong with putting lights. But if you're going to put lights, develop the field, put stands there, put bathroom facilities so people can come and train. But it makes no sense. You just have a field, lights on there for what? It makes no sense. I mean,
you see, the fundamental problem in Dominica is that we do not have an integrated development plan. So we are stuck in time. We're doing the same thing year after year, year after year. We put in lights. Where is the main place to put lights now in Dominica? Why don't we focus on the stadium and put the lights in the stadium, and then we look at other areas where we can do holistic development in the other areas?
Well,
we don't have a plan.
But I think the bottom line is that they're just not serious about. They're just not serious about the whole question of sport.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that is where the problem is.
What are they serious about?
I don't know, man.
What about the development areas, the economic, agriculture, tourism? We've been talking about sports tourism.
The same neglect, the same neglect you have in those areas. Same thing you see with the young people.
Water.
Up to now, our kids have to be training on grass and those conditions. Man.
Yeah, well that's the problem I have. I mean, even the places they put in lights, for instance, you go to St. Joseph. I mean, I know St. Joseph all my life. You drive through Collier, go into Collier, and you see that ground. I mean, you put lights, yeah, but develop the field so the people can use it properly. It makes sense not putting lights there. You cannot probably practice football or cricket and nothing properly there. Let's take this caller. Good evening.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
Somebody asked what this Syria was serious about. Corruption and getting money under the table. There is nothing under the table to be had from putting sports facilities all over the place and taking care of them. Gentlemen, I just reached home from Wesley, Woodford Hill, Palm Tree. Just reached home, 8:30.
So you went on a tour there? You went on a tour there? No?
Yes, I went on a tour, my friend and I.
Right.
And I stood where Elroy Pioche from he lives in Portsmouth now. I don't know if he lives in Portsmouth. I don't know if you all know Mr. Elroy Pioche.
Yes,
Home used to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's a place I've gone several times when I was working in Wesley. I have a few drinks with him. Going at Mr. Didier's place. And I don't know what is going on out there. I see a lot of soil movement and things taking place. I really cannot figure out what is going on up there. Now, on my way to Woodford Hill, I passed and I saw Lynn Edwards, a female farmer from Wesley. I saw Sika Toka devastating her bananas field. And just as I reached to the Londonderry Bridge, I saw two greenhouses not covered. They told me it belongs to Fidel Grant and NEP workers that work in there. So you see what they are. So gentlemen, you see what they are interested in. Good evening. According to Clem, enough said.
Let's talk some. I think we're going to get Abby Lawrence on the line now, so we're going to talk some football, guys, because there was football resumed last weekend after the international break. We'll say when Dominica played 2 friendly matches. So we're going to be speaking to Abby Lawrence and find out. Guys, well, Lobby United lost yesterday in the Europa Cup final. They were beaten by
I was Sibo. That was just a freak goal, freak.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
the Spurs
no.
keeper saved the game. Yeah,
No, he was brilliant. Yeah, he was brilliant, that guy. Yeah, yesterday.
it was
He was
just
brilliant.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Sibo, when you have to lose, you have to lose.
yeah, man. Yeah. Well, United peppered them in the last 15 minutes, eh?
What?
Yeah, peppered them in the last 15
The
minutes
guy
of
made
the
some unbelievable saves.
brilliant. Yeah. Okay. We have Eddie Lawrence on the line, so we're going to be talking some football. Good night, sir.
Good night to you and the many listeners of Q95.
Yeah, the entire panel is here, so
Yeah, so
all right.
ladies
Now,
and gentlemen, good night to the listeners of Q95.
Abby, yeah,
Yeah,
let's
this
get
is
straight
Mr.
to it,
Valatia.
Abby. You had football last weekend. All the teams played. All
Well,
teams
last
were
weekend
engaged.
we had a round of 7.
Okay.
So yeah, we had week 7
Right.
of our football, and as it stands, Dubla continues to lead with 19 points, followed by Belfast Estate Maho Soccer Strikers with 14, Roosevelt Skerrit Bombers, Portsmouth with 13, Tranquility Beach Middleham United 13, We United after 7 games, they are on 12 points, Southeast, Surgical Southeast, after 7 games, they are 9 points, Promex Harlem 8 points. You listening?
Of course we listen. We listen to you.
Point Michelle 7 points, DSFC 3 points, and in the seller position, Cots Redicas 767 on 1 point. These are the points standing for our Premier games thus far.
Yeah, so were there any outstanding matches last weekend, Abby, from what you saw or what you heard?
Well, there is always, like I've said and stated, there's always room for improvement. But last week, we on Sunday, for example, we saw the fighting spirit of Dubla versus Southeast. And I must commend the goalkeeper of Dubla, Mr. Burkhardt, for really showing his worth at the goals. The game between Promex and
No, before you go, what was the result of that game, Abby?
4-0. 4-0.
You mean Dubla won 4-0?
I was hoping you would not ask, Sibo. I was holding my breath.
So where was that match played? At the Stock Farm?
Dubla? At Dubla.
Well, I can imagine the crowd that was there. Eh?
Yeah.
4-0, wow.
Yeah, and we had a very interesting encounter, We United versus that of Promex Harlem. And there were some excellent goals scored by the Harlem team, and then the game ended 3-2. So as the league unfolds, you are seeing the beauty of the football. You are seeing what the coaches are putting in their training. You can see 1-2 players emulating what the coaches have said, and hence you are seeing a final product. Yes, more goals could have been scored, but at the end of the day, we know sometimes we have to continue to press. Let us work on our finishing touches, that we will see a better thing unfold.
Okay. Right. So this weekend, there are matches coming up, right?
Yes, this weekend, as we speak, there will be matches. Come tomorrow, we will have Roosevelt Skerrit Bombers versus that of Middleham. That will be played at 7 p.m. at the Technical Center in Stock Farm. On Saturday, we will have all the games, and on Sunday as well. So this weekend is a packed weekend, getting ready for next week as well as we begin our preparations for the FIFA World Cup qualifiers.
Also, there will be no matches next weekend then? You have matches?
Well, there are competitive factors leading to the games next week. So by Thursday, hopefully, the Lord Spear, we will be able to give you a better judgment, because there is a convention in Dubla coming up on Sunday with the ruling party. There is a convention coming.
Well, let me ask you, that will not affect the playing area, Abby? I mean,
it won't affect the play. Football is football.
Mm-hmm.
Football is football.
But if you have thousands of people on the ground,
basically, lobby is just to Mr. Sebastian it's just to take the game out of the venue, but at the same time, you would need the fans to support the players, and the fans, some of them will be engaged in the rallies. So it's a give and take. So on Tuesday, by Thursday, the Lord Spear, for your program, the public will receive clarity as to where we will stand with the weekend's game coming.
Okay.
But the other weekend for sure, that is the weekend of the first week in June, we will have the FIFA World Cup qualifiers in the Windsor Sports Stadium at 4.
Okay.
That is in June. So there is a lot happening. As we speak, the under 15 is going on, and I have the points standing. We have United with 10 points, Port Michel with 9 points, Roosevelt Spirit Bombers with 9 points, Kalibishida Power with 6, St. Paul with 6, Newton Juvenile Football Academy 4, Parish United 3, Marigot 3, Tragico Southeast, Dr. Fontaine, you have work to do on 0, and Dubla on 0. That is on the under 15.
Let me ask you about it under 15 now. How is it an open thing? How do people, which teams play in that competition? Is it that all the first division teams must have an under 15?
Not necessarily. The under 15 is geared to cater for the young boys that are not engaged.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is it open to any team in the island? That's what I'm asking.
It is open. It's open to every team that wants to.
Okay.
So Dr. Thompson got work to do with Sajiko Southeast.
But and you from the Southeast too now? Aren't you from there?
I'm from there, but he's a member of the board now, so he knows what is needed.
Okay.
Yes. Lots of work to be done, but we're just starting. I'm in the second, so yeah. But yes.
Yeah, but it's one to help the other. It's one to help the other, and like I've said to persons, the football is not an isolated thing. Where when we all come together and combine our efforts, our talents, our resources, we do not do it for ourselves and our own selfishness. We do it for the betterment of the athletes. And guess what? They too will benefit, and one day we will see the product.
Okay, Abby. Thank you very much. We will touch base with you again next week. So
we will touch base, and like I stated to the public, next week the Lord's Prayer, we will give clarity as to where we stand with the games that are coming. Dr. Thompson Fontaine, we know your team is playing on Sunday versus DSFC. So I hope to see you in the place in Stockfarm at 6:30 on Sunday.
Yes, absolutely. That's already in my calendar.
Thank you, Abby. We'll talk to you next week. Thank you. Yeah, Dr. Fontaine, 4-0.
4-0, yes.
Well, but I heard he said the goalkeeper was brilliant. So obviously,
yes, the goalkeeper,
it wasn't a one-sided.
It was not as one-sided as the score.
As the score, right. Well, he's the national goalkeeper.
And by the way, that's our first loss for the season.
Okay, but but plenty draws, because if you play 7 games in Europe,
we have 9 points. We have.
You only get 1 point for a draw, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So we have 3 draws, 2 wins and 2 losses.
Have you all lost players? I mean,
yes. Well, our marquee player, Javid George,
right? He cannot play up to now.
He cannot play up to now,
wow.
And he's so we've lost him. We've lost our goalkeeper as well. We had some good reinforcements, from some players, some from La Plaine, but again, they will take some time for the team to begin to gel and so on, But they play good football, but the games that we drew, I thought we could have won.
Okay.
And and with 3 draws, after a while, it takes a toll. But
Ron is still involved, right?
Yes, Ron is still involved.
Okay.
He's still the manager.
Okay.
And but that is most likely his last season.
Good to retire, what?
Yes. He's indicated his intention.
He had enough, right?
Yeah.
Well, he's been there for what? Maybe 40 years? Yeah. Well, one thing you'll say is a clue, because were it not for him, maybe things would have disintegrated.
I agree.
So he has to be given credit for all what he has done. Ron Bryn has been brilliant for the Southeast in everything.
And then for me now, being on the board, right. I can understand what it takes, because so much can go wrong, and and so many things you have to be mindful of, to get funds and to help the players to get their to get gears and so on, and players sometimes they have to the same starts they used to train. That's what they have to go and play
on matches.
With.
Wow,
and because they can only afford one, or they might not,
and that is the problem. That's the problem.
Oh man, it's
stuff can be very, very tough.
What I'd like to say is that I trust that our national team is under intense training, and we're going to include some of the foreign players and the guy who you just made mention of,
Javid. Yes,
Javid. So we can give a better representation in the next international engagement. When we played against Barbados, the representation wasn't up to standard. I trust that we will improve significantly because of our training, of the involvement of foreign players, so we can give a better representation. And if we lose, but we are satisfied with the quality of football, we can go with that.
But you talk about foreign guys. I mean, the match is less than 2 weeks. When are they going to come in? If you're going to be playing football, is not like cricket.
We should have maybe that question.
Yeah, football is not like cricket where a man can just walk in and score double 100. You have to be practicing with your players. So if you're not there and you just come, I mean, I don't know how they're going to work out, but I guess that's about the Football Association. Anyway, guys, we have plenty of cricket to talk about now, so we
take a quick break.
We're going to take a quick break and then we finish up. Lots of cricket.
Where in Roseau, you can just walk in and order all your chicken parts, wholesale, and even enjoy retail. It's at AC Shillingford, all chicken parts available that you can afford fresh breast. And you know breast is best. Shillingford wings have muscle. After you eat it, you can fly. As for Shillingford chicken drumsticks, even swinging stars just order drumsticks from Shillingford. And for those of you who love Risapul, AC Shillingford keeps your belly full. Buy your chicken wholesale at AC Shillingford. From wings to thighs to drums to breasts to backs to necks. It's available. It's always available and it's affordable. Plus, you've got pork feet, ham and turkey, bull foot, chicken nuggets, pepperoni, all those right seasonings to make your kitchen keep on ticking. Buy your wholesale chicken at AC Shillingford. When you think of chicken, think of AC Shillingford. Always fresh.
Looking for a quiet, relaxing place to stay? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Leaving the office late and need somewhere close to town? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Have business clients coming in and need accommodation? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Looking for group accommodation? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Located at 37 Goodwill Road in Portersville, upstairs ACS Supermarket. Enjoy our semi-self-contained rooms with private washroom, bathroom, Wi-Fi, air condition, cable network, mini refrigerator, all in a non-smoking environment. Call or WhatsApp at 1767-275-1899 or email us at info@portersplaceguesthouse.com to make your reservations. Porter's Place, your home away from home. Fit for a king, a queen, and all their royal subjects. When you want the get, you do shop at SCS. Better than the rest, go shop at SCS. And they all compare, say shop at SCS. You get more for what they say, shop at SCS. Shop at SCS, yeah, shop at SCS. Shop at SCS, what they say, shop at SCS. SCS family, customer friendly. With free locations, it's so convenient. And our prices, Madam, that's where you belong. Oh, tell your mama, tell your papa, shop at SCS. Tell your son and your daughter, shop at SCS. Auntie, nan, and cousin, friend, open power, all of them. Grandma, grandpa, couple, neighbor, girlfriend, boyfriend, side. What? Shop at SCS. Shop at SCS. Shop at SCS. Shop at SCS. Check us out at Portersville, High Street, and downtown Rose. The New India Insurance Company has reopened its doors in Portsmouth, offering the same great services you get in Roseau. Motor vehicle insurance, home and business owners, fire and related perils, public liability, and so much more. Come, visit us today for insurance with a personal touch on Bay Street, Portsmouth, or call us at 445-4023. We are ready to serve you. Dominicans, insure your property, protect your property, you homeowner and businessman. Protect your property, insure your property. Can't wait for the hurricane, can't wait till your flood again, can't wait till your roof fly out and all your business coming out. Remember, no insurance company will insure your property when a storm is approaching. Get ahead of the hurricane season. Insure with a company who gives you the assurance of payment for your valid claim. Come speak with us today at the New India Assurance Company Limited, upstairs AC Shillingford and Company Limited, 24 King George Street, Roseau. Bring along an up-to-date valuation from a qualified engineer and get insured today.
Right, so we are back and we're going to talk in cricket. We'll start with local cricket because there were matches last weekend in the local league. We have with us David Johnson, a member of the executive of the Cricket Association, who's going to tell us about the matches that were played. Good night, sir.
Yeah, good night to you, Mr. Sebastian, Mr. LeBlanc, and Mr. Landa.
And Dr. Fontaine.
And Dr. Fontaine. Yes, sorry about that.
Go right ahead, sir. Tell the listeners what happened last weekend.
Okay, it's always a pleasure. Last weekend, in December Infinite, we had 3 matches. We had the Tremors versus the KFC Summit Sports Clubs at the Geneva Playing Field, Granby Caribbean Colts at the versus Kalingo Blasters at the Botanical Gardens, and Magical Northern Stars Sports Clubs versus Common Plus at Benden's Park. If I could start off with the match. Okay, hold on, let me get it there. With the match, actually, the Botanical Gardens, we have that match at the Granby Caribbean Colts versus the Kalingo Blasters. That match ended up in a team draw. We had the Colts, Granby Caribbean Colts, winning first innings. And if I go into details of the match, first to bat, we had Granby Colts scored 306 for 8, declare. We had Courtney Ansem had 78, Lex Magloff 45, Melvin Defoe 38, and Kevin Alexander 34. And the bowling for Blasters, we had Arsenio Fontaine 2 for 28, and Darren Tousse 2 for 30. Into bat, the Blaster that only amassed 110, we had Derry Ogis. He scored 26 not out. Bowling for Colts, we had Courtney Anselm 4 for 43, Shimoy Williams 3 for 26, and Jason Alexander 2 for 23. Into bat again, they were sent in by the Colts. Blasters end up in 197 for 6. At that point, the game ended up in a draw. And in that innings of Blasters, we had Gian Benjamin scored 109, and Arsenio Fontaine 26, Darren Tousse 26. Bowling for Colts, we had Lex Maglow 2 for 27, and Courtney Anslem 2 for 57. So Colts won on first innings and end up in a drawn match at the Botanical Gardens. If we go down to the Granby, the Geneva Playing Field, we had the KFC Summits versus the Tremors. We had these KFC Summits batted first. I mean, it's a low score, but you still have to mention it. The only school scored 47 runs. We had Shackington was 17. In bowling for Tremors, we had Malachi Zage 3 for 10, Ismail Lender 2 for 3, John Matthew 2 for 8, and Aaron Walker 2 for 16. Into bat, Summits scored 162. We had Neo Davis, who actually is the top run scorer so far. He had 58. Ajamin Tavernier 35.
Third half century in a row? Third half century, Davis?
Yes, actually.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, 4 half centuries.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And we had Tyrone Field 6 for 20, and Malachi Xavier 2 for 24. Into bat again, Tremors could only make 85 runs. We had Jimmy James 23 and Aaron Walker 16. We had Jason Vidal had 5 for 21 and Elton Mack 3 for 20. And Tremors was set to score 124 to win. They could only amass only 90 runs again. We had Ismail Lender scored 41. Jason Vidal had a 10-wicket match. All he had 6 for 22 and Elton Mac 3 for 30. So we had Summit who won that match by innings and 34 runs. And if I could report the match actually at the Benjamin, unfortunately that match didn't take place. It was abandoned without a ball being bowled. As we all know that the northern part of the country had a lot of rain. So the pitch was a bit wet and the soggy conditions at the Benjamin's Park on both days. So no play at that match.
What about this weekend? Do you have games this weekend?
Yes, we have 3 matches again on this weekend. We are at the Botanical Gardens. We have the KSC Summit Sports Club versus the Granby Caribbean Colts. At the Geneva Playing Field, we have Tremors versus the Communion Plus Heaters. And at Benjamin's Park, we have Nagico Northern Star Sports Club versus the Callingo Blasters.
Okay. Right. So, do you have the point system standing so far? No?
Yes, I could.
Can you read that to us, please?
Quickly going in this point standing, we have on top of the table, we have KFC Summit Sports Club. They played 3 matches. They won 2. They'll draw 1. They're on 30 points. And in second, we have Granby Caribbean Colts. They played 3 matches, 1 win and 2 draws on 24 points. Yeah. Followed by Callingo Blasters with 3 wins. With 3 matches played, 1 win, 1 loss, and 1 draw on 19 points. And followed by the Communion Plus on 16 points. Nagico Northern Stars Sports Clubs on 10 points. And the Tremors on 4 points. So
what about the Tremors? Wow. Yeah. That's a team that won championship so many years. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Thank you, David. Thank you. We'll speak to you again next week. Thank you for giving us this call. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, guys, you hear him still scoring 48 runs. A team get 48 runs and 60 runs. Yeah. Anyway, guys, let's move now to West Indies now. We first talk about the captaincy and the vice captain. We heard who has been appointed captain, Chase is the captain. They say it was unanimous. In other words, for people who don't understand English, every board member voted in favor of Chase being the captain. That's what it was said.
Well, Sibo, I'm not surprised because even when you asked me last week, I thought he would be the person just based on the fact that in looking at the persons who were there, he's the only one that was guaranteed a pick. I thought in terms of his recent form, he was the only person I thought that could secure a pick. And if you're going to pick a captain must secure a pick. You don't pick a captain to secure his pick.
Well, in England they used to do that before. People, you remember Mike Braley? They picked him to captain the team. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
So I thought it made sense, and I think that he was, in terms of who they had, the choices they had. I thought he was the best choice in the absence of a Shea-Hope. I thought he was probably the best choice. But having selected him, we talk about the vice captain. I'm not so much in favor of the vice captain and the person who was selected because I don't believe he can guarantee a pick. Also, I don't believe that you should select a vice captain, like a permanent vice captain. To me, that does not make much sense. The vice captain should be able to change depending on the match and so on and the conditions. You have a different person. If you're going to choose a person permanently, that person should be generally a younger player, up-and-coming player, that you want him to gain some kind of experience.
Well, that is not something that's normal to pick a vice captain long in advance. The test match is about what? The 21st of June, I think. You have almost a whole month. You might end up in trouble picking a vice captain and he is not going to play. And that is where you have a problem in the directors in Cricket West Indies. There are 16 directors. There's only one person on that board who played any level of cricket. One. So you have a situation where...
Wait, Sebastian, you need to slow down. You're saying that you have a board
of 16 people.
And only one of that 16 have played cricket at that level?
Only person who has played cricket
kind of board is this?
Is Enoch Lewis. Nobody else. And you can go around the clock. You go to Guyana, the two of them, I don't even think they played wind ball cricket. You have in Barbados, Conde Riley, Gregory Nichols, no. You have in Windward, Maslin, somebody else, no. You have in Jamaica, Dr. Bennett, a man who's almost 80 years as the president, no. You go to Trinidad, Azim Bazarat and the other one, never played anything. So Enoch Lewis is the only person, he opened the batting with me for the Common Island, so I know he knows about cricket.
Well, that probably explains some of the missteps that we're seeing with the board and the way they're handling cricket in the West.
Yeah, and then not only that, they're independent directors, free of the independent, free ladies they put there. One has a degree in whatever marketing and blah, 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 and that sort of thing. No, we're talking about cricket. I have no problem if you have one or two people with degree, but it's a joke. So when a recommendation comes, the board, the people on the board cannot sit down and analyze it.
They can.
So if, let's say, you get Warwick's name, and you look at it, you say, well, no, you know what? Warwick is a spinner. Already Chase. In fact, when I became a selector, the first one, remember when we picked the team against England? We beat England. We had the four seamers and Chase was the spinner.
Mm-hmm.
So you said to yourself, the first test pass in Barbados, by the way, against Australia, you go there and the pitch has a green top. So obviously you might need more than one spinner. You already have Chase. So you get yourself in a situation where the vice captain cannot even play. And it's an awkward situation. And that is why what should have happened, you pick your captain, but when you pick your 14 for the first test and you identify somebody, you think that could be the vice captain. But long in advance, to announce a vice captain, I think that is stupid. I don't know what they were thinking of. And they said unanimous. So the thing comes and they sit down on the board. Okay, I agree. And that's how they go, guys. Hello, BU. You guys want to comment, Ronald?
No. What I want to ask you is your technical opinion, because you've been in the engine room.
Mm-hmm.
Your technical opinion of the selection of Royston Chase as the captain of West Indies team at this material point in time.
I don't think they had much of a choice, to be honest. I think when I look at
Imlach.
Imlach, probably what I would do. But you know, what I would say to you, I'm hearing rumor that they still want to put Shehu behind the stumps and have him batting 5 or 6. That's why I'm hearing rumors like that. I heard rumors that could happen. Because, you know, if
Shehu could play.
If Shehu had just said, yes, he will be the captain of the team.
Yes,
I can tell you
yes, exactly.
Sammy wanted him to be the captain. If he had just said, yes, I accept, you'll be captain of the test team. That is a fact. But he said that he wanted to concentrate on the white ball and blah, blah, blah. So what I would have thought, because, you know, somebody told me about Chase's age. I said, well, Vivian Richards became captain at 32, but Vivian Richards was Vivian Richards. You can't compare that. But he played for 7 years until he retired, 39 go to 40. And he never lost a test series, only was seen as captain. In fact, every time I hear this nonsense about Lloyd was the most successful captain, I say, what rubbish. Lloyd lost 2 series as captain. Richards never lost one. But anyway, let's go back to that. 33 years, if Chase now, he's averaging 26 in test cricket. If he can give you 4 or 5 years, bring his average to about 30 odd. He had 80 or some odd wickets. If he can give you another 60, 70, he will have done well. So what should have happened, have a younger guy to understudy him. Mm-hmm. But to pick a Warwickon is almost the same age like Chase. So I don't understand that one, how they arrive at putting Warwickon as the vice captain. That to me made no sense really, guys. I mean, as I say again, the board has 16 people and one person there play cricket, any kind of cricket at all, is enough. There's nobody else. So that's why you have a problem.
That speaks a lot. That speaks volumes in terms of the depth of, you know, you need that experience on the board. You absolutely need people who played at those levels.
Yes,
I mean, when I looked at Chase, and I've been looking at him for a while, his mannerism on the field, his ability to bat, his ability to bowl, although he has not been on the West Indies team for a while now, but you can see that guy has ability not only to play cricket, but to manage the cricket team. I endorse him as being captain. However, I fully endorse the opinions of Sebastian and Fontaine in terms of not calling a vice captain so early. And if you got to call someone as a vice captain, Imlach would be the person as vice captain. But when we were here last week, Sebastian said that he had rumors, he had intelligence that Chase would be the captain. And today, Sebastian saying he has intelligence that Shai Hope is going to keep.
No, I didn't say he's going to keep. I said that's what I am hearing. That's what they want.
You are well informed.
Well, which raises the question, Ron, not to cut you. If Shai Hope is batting, then that means that Hodges elbowed out.
Well, as I said earlier on tonight, they have picked the team for both 18 test matches. Cavem Hodge is in the team for the first 18 test. He's not in the team for the second. And anybody with a brain will understand, well, the people in the second A team thing, because if you look at the team they will have, Brathwaite and Campbell are going to open the batting. It looked like two of them, because Michael is not in that team either. So Brathwaite and Campbell could open the batting test. There is Kevin.
Just stop there for a minute. So why is Afanas experimenting with opening the batting?
Well, that is a question that you would have to ask him. I don't know. I watched him opening the batting last. I don't understand it either. I don't know why he's opening the batting. I don't understand. Yeah, that I don't know. That is a matter. The coach and him probably could explain. I don't know if it's something he wants to do. Why would he want to go batting open when he could come in at 3-4? I don't know.
No, but remember when he played on the West Indies team, that's where they had him batting.
Well, that is what they were doing.
They were trying to force him into that
space. Force him into that.
And he did not fit in. And now he probably feels that is probably his best chance of getting on the team. But I firmly believe that he should have been kept on this West Indies team. You know,
Sebastian.
Yes, Lobby.
Yeah. Yes, this West Indies problem is a recurring decimal, Sebastian. You're not going anywhere. What I'm seeing happening, we are based on how we perform. We are keeping the crowds away. I've been saying this for the longest time. I'm looking at the board. We have, you need to have people who have played the game involved in cricket. It's very, very important. You must have a mixture. It's very, very important. I have no problem with Chase. I always found that he has had a wrong heart. He has a few test centuries. He's a good an off-spin bowler. He's a very reliable bowler. I have no problem with him being captain of the team. But what happened to us, Sebastian, in Ireland? Tell us what happened to us in Ireland.
We will come to it in a while. But you know, what I would say to Kavem Hodge, in the first step, go and make a big 100. That's what
of course, you have
go
to bat
and
long.
make a big 100, and they will have no choice because they'll be embarrassed. In fact, it will embarrass them not to have him in the team for the second match. That's what will happen. So
but quite frankly, Sibo, I feel on the strength of Kavem Hodge's performances on the West Indies team, he should be given another chance on that team.
Yes, but
there's no
that's
question about it, and I'm disappointed that it seems to be trending where he may not be on that West Indies team.
Yes, because when I saw
I think that is grossly unfortunate.
Yes, to not even have him in the A team.
Given the way this man has batted, rescued West Indies.
In fact, when you look at it, apart from him, nobody has made 100
exactly.
Neither in England or in along this while. Yeah, you're right. Nobody else.
He stood out for the West Indies.
Made 100. So
he may have had a bad patch in the domestic league, but in terms of performance of West Indies, he has been one of the better performers, and I don't understand why the haste to get rid of him and just to bring other people. And it's this same kind of experimenting that has failed West Indies. And you know what, Sibo? And I was looking at Afanas last night, and I made the comparison between Afanas and Gill and the way India treats their stars or the young upcoming talent and the way we treat ours. In 2022, when Afanas played under 19 in the World Championship under 19
in New Zealand.
New Zealand, he top scored. He scored the most runs. Shubman Gill was second in runs. On the strength of Shubman Gill's second scoring performance, he was named on the India one-day team a couple months later.
In fact, he could be the captain for England.
Yes, I'm getting to that, right? And I'm trying to draw the difference between the West Indies and the way they treat their talent. It was clear then that Afanas had the talent to be one of the better players. He did not get the opportunity. He waited 3 more years before he was called to the team, to the West Indies team. Shubman Gill got his call up immediately for the one day, and a few months later, he got his call up for the test team. And now he's even been spoken of as a future captain.
Yeah.
Afanas had to wait 3 long years before. Now think of the confidence of a Shubman Gill coming out of the under-19 tournament. He's immediately on the India team with loads and loads of talent. You have a West Indies team that is struggling, and a person performed the way the guy did only under 20 with 200s, 250s, 104 average, and he cannot get into the West Indies team for another 3 years. And now that he's there, he's under all sorts of pressure. He's named to the one-day international team, to the T20 team. Then he's dropped almost immediately from the T20 and the one-day. You cannot build talent like this. You cannot build and support the players. I have a problem with this West Indies board and the way they treat the West Indies players.
Yes,
and now we have this issue with Hodge.
But hold on, didn't you hear? Again, you hear all sort of nonsense. Darren Sammy before talk about the brand of cricket they want to play. No, it's easy to go on a mic and talk rubbish about the brand. But you must have players to have brand. You must have the players to say that we want to have a scoring rate of 3 4 and over. Man, that is a nonsense. You must have the players to talk about if you have brand of cricket. West Indies now have players that are struggling. We don't have people that come. And you know, I was saying, I said openly, Enoch Lewis and I had a chat last Sunday. We spoke for half an hour. And I was saying to him, somebody need to tell his young guy from Antigua, he's not a Vivian Richards, Joel Andrew. I don't know if you saw him in the breakout league. Come on, I think he cost Leeward Islands the final. I think he can hit every ball. He's not a Vivian Richards. And I said that one you were about up to yesterday as well, that they need to be careful and tell the young man he's not Ivy Richards.
Yes,
you need to go and learn to bat first before you come in. And that is why when I hear nonsense about that is the brand of cricket we want to play, you must have players to go and talk about brand. If you don't have it, you're not going to use a nonsense.
Sebastian, you've just amplified the point I'm about to make. I reiterate again that Kavim Hodge and Alec Afanaz are very talented, but they lack the proper management. And until we can get them, and they may be dropped very soon from the West Indies team, because they were there playing, applying themselves, as Thompson said, in one or two occasions. Kavim Hodge saved us in the last series in Pakistan. Afana scored a 50, and a lot of people, even Lara, said that's the best 50 ever seen. But how are we managing those players to ensure that they continue to perform? And this is a fundamental problem that we have.
No, but you know, and the whole thing, look at, for instance, Andre Cody was the coach, right? He went to Australia, they drew the series. They fired him. And now he's the coach of the team, you know. Now, again, I don't know how he could accept that again. I would just tell him to go to hell. I don't even know how you could accept to be one of the people fired you. They got rid of you. They don't want you. And you can, and that's what I'm saying. To me, they just don't know what they're doing, honestly. It's a whole set of foolishness. And in fact, somebody that sent us in saying that Warwick was rewarded for his performance in Pakistan. But it's not every time you're going to get a pitches like what you played in Pakistan. Where are you going to play? Jamaica, Barbados, and Antigua. These are not pitches where you expect the ball to be spinning. So that's what I'm saying. Warwick could be redundant, really.
Yes, but the way you reward him, you pick him, but you don't pick him captain.
Yeah, vice captain. You know, and I really, and I just find, honestly, how people could sit down and nobody could say, well, make a contribution at the meeting, say, well, no, wait, no. Explain to the other board directors. People that don't know, because most of them wouldn't know. Well, this guy is a spinner. To put him vice captain, he mightn't play on the 11.
And see, was the same mistake that they made with having Joseph as the Alzari Joseph as vice captain.
Exactly.
You know, he does not have the gam, you know, of a vice captain in terms of his camaraderie, in terms of his interaction,
his discipline as well,
discipline and so on. And then he was made vice captain. So you wonder about those types of choices. And at the end of the day, by the way, our cricket is suffering. Yesterday was a black eye for West Indies cricket. 3 formats, 3 different and distinct formats.
And lost badly too. All of them.
Every single one.
Badly too. You talk about, Low Black asked about it yesterday in Ireland. You look at how we played very poor. I mean, our bowling looked innocuous, really. I mean, you watch the women. To me, even the women, we have one cricketer. One person.
Women, yeah.
So you cannot beat anybody like that. In a cricket match. You come to the A team, you watch them last night, same thing. If I was talking to Red Spirit today, and he was saying, man, about the players. Well, nobody's there watching, by the way. But you watch the women. To me, they just don't know what they're doing. Honestly, it's a whole set of foolishness. And in fact, somebody that sent us in saying that Warwick was rewarded for his performance in Pakistan. But it's not every time you're going to get a pitches like what you played in Pakistan. You know, The program about 50 people there, Reds told me.
St. Lucia people don't go.
But
Nobody was there
if they were in Dominica, they would have gotten a crowd.
Exactly.
But we don't have any lights.
Yeah, because the match is day night, you're right. The match started at 2:30.
Day night.
Finished last night, almost 10 o'clock last night. So, yeah, but there was nobody there, Reds told me.
Sebastian.
Yes, go lobby.
I just to touch on something Lander speaks about managing. When you played cricket, Sebastian, did you have anybody managing you? Or
let me say something to you.
Listen to me.
Hold on, lobby. I'll come to you after. We have a caller. Hold on. Good evening.
Yes, good evening. Warwickton wasn't part of the interview for the captaincy.
Yes, he was.
And from my listening to the Jamaicans, they say he had top the interviews.
Well, I think top. From what I know, they said he did well. They said his interview was good. That's what they said. So I don't know if if you know that, I don't know. I don't know if he was top, but all I know, he did a good interview. It was said. Go ahead, anyhow.
Yeah, well, listening to the Jamaicans.
No, hold on, lobby. The caller. Huh?
Listening to one of the Jamaicans on the program, they said he was the one that top the interview. So I guess they rewarded him for that because they didn't pick him as captain. So that's my opinion.
Okay,
but that is unconventional too. To even
I never, in fact, in the history of West Indies cricket, never heard of that. Like I say, if you want a CEO of the board or the counting officer or whatever, you will do that. But cricket, to have interviews, cricket is runs and wickets. You pick a captain, you look at the matches he has captain. A captain, first of all, has to make the team. He has to have understanding of cricket. He has to be able to get his guys to respect him and all that stuff. But to go in an interview, what questions could they be asking? I really wish I would have been there to hear the question. Yeah, but let me go back to what you said about managing.
Thibault, yes.
Hold on. We were lamenting the fact when I played cricket, right? As a teenager, played for the common land. We had nobody to help us. When you play, you go in your room at night. Unlike now, you have about 10 backroom staff. You had to work it out yourself as a teenager. There's nobody. In fact, as I said, our first manager was Tim Hector. Tim Hector was not a coach or any cricket. Brilliant mind, as we know, bright guy. He's Dr. Fountain would know, historian, brilliant guy. But Tim Hector, so when you played, you get up, you go to bat, you have to feel overnight, you say, boy, I have to play so and so. You never heard of that bowler before. You have to work it out yourself. That is the difference then and now. Now the guys have so many coaches to tell them. So in our days, we didn't have that lobby. And if probably we had it, maybe the difference would have been bigger.
No, but something else, Thibault. First of all, I'm looking at, just bear with me, your mindset as a batsman. You seized every opportunity that came your way. And when you went to the wicket, was to score runs.
Yes, yeah. If not, you made the team, I can tell you that.
Yes, and not only that. And wherever cricket was played and Sebastian was batting, your aim was to score runs and score runs. Now, Sebastian, when you played cricket, I want to know whether it was the standard that existed at that time that made you all perform at such a high level.
I'll answer that just now. Let's take the caller. I'll come to that just now. Let's take the caller. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening. Yes.
I want your honest opinion. You and between Hodge and Afan right now. If you had to pick the first team for the first pair, which one of the two players would you pick first?
Both. I'll pick both.
No, but if you after that,
hold on. Let me you let the caller left.
Yes.
You remember I said many times right here that these guys have to be careful. I've said it many times. They need to make runs. Many times I said there that they need to make runs.
Yep.
The problem, from what I'm hearing, the thing about Cavern is scored too slowly. Same way I talk about the what do you say? The type of cricket they want to play. I feel sometimes Cavern blocks so much. That's what I'm hearing from the people. That's what they're saying. But to be fair to him, when you look at, he's the only guy who has made 100 among the guys you have there for the longest while. Nobody else has made 100.
Exactly.
But to answer the caller's question, is a difficult one. That is, which one of them you would play? That's what I suspect. The people, the guys like Ali Kafanas, but Ali Kafanas must reward them.
They see the talent in him.
Yeah, but it's about time
to perform.
Yeah, he has to
but
reward
he
them.
Help to perform.
Because if he gets the chance, against Australia, he doesn't perform, he's going to find himself in trouble.
Yes,
I can tell you that.
Yes.
So the caller, as I said, good question, very good question from the caller. Very good. We have
I want both of them in though.
Yeah, good evening. Yes. No. I mean, you have to be honest. You might ask a question.
It's a very difficult question.
Yeah, it's a difficult question. Yeah, it is. But it's a good question too. It's a good question. Well, the person knows about cricket, so that's why the person will ask. Yeah, go ahead.
According to the position, according to the man you need, then you have a choice. One is a bowler. All-rounder is all-rounder. The other one is a batsman.
No. Who is your all-rounder? Who's your all-rounder? No. Well, that is a mistake we make in cricket. Every time I hear people use that word loosely. If you're talking about all-rounder, you talk about Gary Sobers. You talk about Khalid. You talk about Philip Zaidi. But too often people talk about because a guy bats and he can come and get a couple wickets. No, he's not an all-rounder. That's the mistake he making.
I agree.
Okay. All right.
But what I still say is, according to the man you need at the time.
Yeah, but what you need is to make runs. The position he's batting at number 4 is to make runs. What a man is batting at 4 is to make runs. That's what you need. Okay.
All depends on the position.
Yeah.
Someone is suggesting that you speak to Ali Afanas, that you have a conversation with him.
Well, I know, for instance, his manager Liam and him, they have a very good relationship. So sometimes I would relay the message to Liam and him, because as I always say to the cricketers, know you're very careful, and that's what I'm saying. How you interact, you have to be very, very careful. Now, if somebody comes to you, no problem, but sometimes you have to be very careful how you deal with that. Sometimes. But let me to answer your question before we finish. When we played, for instance, in the days. You play for Dominica. I mean, you guys follow cricket. To make a Dominica team was difficult in those days. Playing in Dominica. Sometimes you have to play free trial matches before,
True.
Then you have to play for Dominica. These were free 4-day games. They were wrong. Then after that, you make the Windward's team. You have to play 2 4-day games against the Windward Islands. And the competition. The batsmen in those days now. Let's go. You have the Windward, people like Irving Shillingford, Clem John, George Alfred, Rupert Polius, Frederick Fobb, Colvin. Well, don't talk about the Leeward Island. Richards, Van Emmerich, Sargent, Len Harris, just name them the Leeward Island. So it was tough. And to stay on the team, you had to make runs. And as I say, we had no coach, nothing. You had to be coach yourself. When you go in your room at night, you're thinking how you're going to handle. Let's say if you're going to Jamaica, you have to face Michael Holding or Newton Dow. How do you approach that? You go to Trinidad, you have Inshanali, Imtiaz, you go to Barbados to talk about the pace. So you have to work it out yourself. Not like
no helmet.
Exactly, no helmet. Never used helmet in my life. Not like now, the backroom staff is loaded with people. In fact, you have some of the more backroom staff than the players themselves. You have more of that themselves. So, like I said, the guys now are lucky. They have all those sometimes.
So,
go ahead.
They're lucky. I agree with you, Satsibo. And I just wanted to put one last thing on Kavem.
Yeah.
He has an opportunity to score runs.
Big runs.
To score in the test. And Alec batted well up to a point last night.
What I would like to say, don't give away your wickets.
Yes.
When you get us, in fact, if you look at him, outside the F-stump, he missed about 15 balls outside the F-stump, He's not moving his feet. But they are coaches. That's what the coaches are there for. That's what they're there for.
But he's the kind of player, when he gets in, he can really hurt a team.
Yeah, he can.
You know,
he can play strokes.
Yes.
But he needs to make a run.
Do we have good coaches? Do we have good coaches? Batting coaches?
Well, again, how do you know who is the best coach? That's a question I can't answer. I don't know, because here is the coach now who was fired by the board, and then he's now coach of the A team. So you
What was
already
Sibo?
wonder.
I have said, remember I told you that, from day one, that Desmond Haynes was put in the wrong position as the selector. He should have been the batting coach. That's what we needed. We need even people like Shanda Paul. You need a staff of it. Look at what India has done. Go back in India. Their best batsmen. They have a core of these guys help around. We haven't got.
Well, yes.
Well, situations have changed drastically. What obtained when Sebastian and Irvin played does not obtain now. The level of discipline that the guys had and application doesn't obtain now. This is why other countries are doing it. They are managing the players. They are ensuring that they are mentally organized. And this is very, very important in cricket, because cricket, people look at a lot of replays and they outsmart you. So if you are not mentally organized and you're not properly managed in this material point in time, you will not perform.
I agree. And in fact, Sibu mentioned it and been able to take charge. I remember, Ron, I don't know if you remember that, when Sibu, they were playing in Barbados, and we met Sibu during the lunch. He was batting, and we asked him how he was feeling, and he was so confident. The way he was talking, and then when he went back to bat, do you remember what happened? The first ball that he got, when he rocked back on the back foot and pulled the guy for 6 on the Kensington over. I mean, but then I think I remember that moment, Sibo, because what struck me was how confident you were, like mentally, you had it already, you had it in your mind, and I think that is where
environment.
Some of our current batters are lacking. They lack the self-confidence. Even sometimes the way you look at Afana's move, like there's a lack of self-belief. And that's why I was saying, I wonder that uncertainty sometimes can cause that. If you think fellas looking to drop you, you might not be as comfortable. They took so long to bring you in. Now they're looking for you to make a mistake. They already cut his legs off from the one day and from the T20. And then, so...
And let me tell you...
That can play with your mind.
Cricketers do hear things, I can tell you that. Because you hear little things. You use your local language.
I listen to you.
But I don't want to replace them, say, Sipsio. You hear,
yes.
Boy, somebody will say, boy, if you don't do this, they're going to drop you. So you confuse. And as you just said, you have to be mentally
and
tough.
if you don't have that toughness,
don't have that mental toughness,
you can crumble on the playing field.
You crumble big time. Big time.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, the conversation very good, but we have to come to an end. And next week, maybe we'll continue because all the 18 for the ODIs will have been finished. The West Indies will have probably be heading for England. By then, they'll have been finished in Ireland. And they will be heading to England for next week. And before we close, Josh Butler played today, but he's heading to England back to play against West Indies. But West Indies playing tomorrow in England, but what's the name? Shepherd is playing in there tomorrow, guys. And that's the kind of board we have.
Well, a critical weekend.
Yeah. On behalf of Dr. Fontaine, Ronald Lander, Emmanuel Loblack, we just want to say good night to everybody. We'll be back next week. Yeah, the conversation.
Together, be all right. Hear the children crying, the children crying, saying, give thanks to the Lord, and I will be all